Welcome to the Swartz Creek Town Hall meeting. We're going to just hang out for a while here to see if any of our registered guests pop on into the Zoom, and then we'll get started with a little bit of introduction and take some questions from any of our guests that show up. So, hi Swartz Creek. Once again, we're just going to hang out for a little bit here, see who pops on the Zoom from our invites.
This meeting is being recorded.
Once again, if you're just joining the live stream, we are hanging out here to see if any of the folks who have signed up for the town hall are going to jump on into the Zoom. We will get started with the presentation in a couple of minutes. We're just going to keep smiling at the camera for a little bit. All right, Zach, do we have anyone? That looks like a no. All right, well, I am Rodney Heatherton, and I'm Deputy Superintendent of Swartz Creek Community Schools, and I am excited to be with you tonight to share a little bit about what school is going to look like in the next coming months and into the fall. With me tonight is Mr. Jim Kitchen, the principal of Swartz Creek High School, and Mrs. Michelle Corbett, the principal of Swartz Creek Middle School. We also have Mr. Zach Witham, who is our systems administrator and will help us when we run into technical difficulties. So we appreciate you taking the time to listen to us. I'm going to share a little bit about what are we going to do with the gaps that we experienced during COVID. Mrs. Corbett is going to share a little bit about social emotional learning and the health department, and Mr. Kitchen is going to share a little bit about the 7-period day and all things high school. So let's get kicked off. We're pretty excited about having a summer school experience this year that is very robust. We have lengthened our summer school to a 6-week program. It starts on Monday, July 12th and runs through August 19th. And that is 4 days a week from 9 until 1, and it runs for 6 weeks. So very robust. We have free food in terms of breakfast and lunch. We also this year, something new, we are offering transportation, and we are offering daycare. So those are opportunities you can take advantage of. We have well over 400 students already registered for summer school. And just to put that in perspective, our largest summer school group ever before this moment was about 120 students. So we're pretty excited to welcome in, probably when it's all said and done, close to 500 students who are going to work on activities July and August to get ready for the school year. What are we doing to help close those gaps? Well, we got 6 weeks of learning, and we're going to be looking at literacy initiatives, math initiatives, some of our STEAM initiatives, so science, technology, engineering, arts, more math. And we're going to be looking at ways to intervene with students who need some one-on-one time, and whether that's in reading specifically or if it's in mathematics. We have 3 buildings broken out so that the students are cohorted by level. The K2 group will meet at Moorish Elementary. The 3-5 group is meeting at Deke Elementary. And the 6 through 8 group, the middle school group, is meeting at Elms. And you may ask yourself, why is the 6 through 8 group meeting at Elms Road Elementary? And that's because construction starts on the high school and middle school. And so we will not be able to get into those buildings. And for those of you who have gone through the construction process at the elementaries, you know that once it gets underway, it's very busy and it's hard to get in and out. So we're pretty excited to be able to accommodate all 3 of those levels. Mr. Kitchen as well runs a credit recovery, as they do every year, and students in 9th through 12th will have the same opportunities that they have every year to grab some credit recovery using Apex courses and making up credit all summer long. One other note that I have written down here is we also have social work at every building, probably 2 social workers per level. We know that not only have our students struggled with some academic gaps, but we've also had some social emotional gaps. And Mrs. Corbett's going to talk a little bit more about that. Mrs. Corbett.
Thank you, Mr. Heatherton. I actually wrote the same note down in addition to all of the academic ways to stretch children and to support them through this pandemic with our summer school program. Social workers are a huge piece of that. We want to make sure that we're addressing the whole child, all of their needs. Our goal through our school improvement process for next year, and for many years that I've been a part of the district MTSS team, our multi-tiered systems of support, is always around student well-being. And so some of the ways through this pandemic that we have tried to make sure we're addressing those whole child needs and that we will continue working on into next school year include wellness rooms in every school. These are places in the building where a student who may be dysregulated, struggling with their emotions a bit, can go and work with someone who's trained to help them get into more a regulated state of mind. So we get that frontal part of the brain working rather than from the brain stem. We also have social workers, not only in summer school, but they are in every school building in our district and will continue to be next year for that social and emotional learning support. We recently surveyed all of our 2nd, 5th, 8th, and 11th grade students on a social emotional learning survey. Those are huge transition years in our district, with 2nd grade kind of ending that K2 building experience, and then the 5th graders ending their 3-5 experience, and so on 8th and 11th. And we're accumulating all of that data and going to be using that to help us through our district and our school improvement plans. The main goal for next year is the focus on relationships. We want to continue to have positive teacher-student relationships, support staff-student relationships, and family support as well. Again, supporting that whole child. So we're going to continue our work on trauma-informed care. We're moving from being a trauma-aware school into a trauma-sensitive school. And so we have some professional development that we're very excited about. We had everything ready to rock and roll just before COVID closed our building doors last March to make sure our support staff, our bus drivers, our cafeteria workers, who are amazing, loving people, that they get the training that's so important to help them along their growth and being trauma sensitive as well. And then of course with our teaching staff too. Another practice that has started and will continue into next year in our elementary buildings is a 5-point scale has been implemented in every building. And that's used to assist students in having a way to identify their emotions and how they're feeling. I think of it of an analogy of like being in the hospital and the nurse might ask you to rate your pain from 1 to 10. And so when students can articulate and verbalize this, we can check in with them to get them the support that they might need. The elementary schools also have a curriculum called Second Step. Many have been using that over the last couple of years, and that's expanding K-5 wide. And that's a curriculum that their classroom teachers will be able to utilize to help with social emotional learning, all about those executive functioning skills. At the middle school, I am personally super excited that we are bringing Dragon Time back. We could not do Dragon Time this past year because of us needing to expand our passing time to 10 minutes. So our teaching staff had enough time to wait tables, clean tables, and that type of thing. But we will be able to reduce the passing time to 5 minutes. Therefore, Dragon Time will be coming back. And that's an opportunity for us to foster those relationships with a lower teacher to student ratio in those classes, work on executive functioning skills, helping students with study skills, planning skills, organization skills, checking in on their power school grades and helping them through any areas that they're struggling. And Positivity Project. That is one of my passions. I'm a believer in this project, and that's going to be a district-wide focus as it has been in most buildings for the past couple of years. All of the Positivity Project is around social emotional learning. It's based on making sure that we foster connections with each other and that we become self-aware to appreciate the goodness in other people. So there's 5 principles, not like me principles, but principles that the project is based around. It's knowing how our words and actions affect others, not just what comes out of our mouths, but off our thumbs and with the secondary. And I know Mr. Kitchen would agree with me that sometimes the social media issues can become something that we help students work through. It's supporting others when they struggle. It's being present and giving others our attention, cheering on other successes, and identifying and appreciating the good in others. So all that being said, another question we get a lot, and sometimes it taps into the social emotional, is the health, the safety. So we have followed the guidance from the Genesee County Health Department all school year, and we'll continue to do that. And as of right now, we are under the understanding that July 1st, all restrictions are lifted. And so as long as that continues to be the case, we will not be mandating that staff or students wear masks under their guidance. Of course, if that changes, we would follow the new guidance, and masks are optional. If a student or a staff member wanted to wear a mask, of course, that is something that they could do. Another thing that will be different next fall is there will be no morning staff and student safety health checks. So I know I'm a mom of a student in the district and an employee, and every morning I'm filling 2 forms out. So those will no longer be a requirement in our district. And as of right now, there's also no plans for any kind of mandated COVID vaccination or proof of that. And of course, we continue to follow the guidance of the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services and the Genesee County Health Department. And I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Kitchen. I know he's going to piggyback on the great work the high school's done and that they have some exciting news to share about the fall.
Hi, everyone. This is my third town hall meeting this year, and I just love the opportunity to be able to come face to face with you, talk about some things that are taking place. Obviously, Mrs. Corbett talked about a lot of the safety protocols, so I won't duplicate any of that for you. We're super excited about things that are taking place. Mr. Heatherton mentioned our construction project. Just to reiterate, on June 25th, our building is pretty much going to be closed for the summer. So no one will be allowed to enter as they prepare for construction. Our main office is going to be located in the lobby of the Performing Arts Center. So we're going to be there all summer if you need anything during the summertime. One of the biggest pieces that I want to share with you, we talked a little bit about it during the last town hall meeting, but just kind of give you a little bit more details is our 7-period day. We've got this really, our schedule is laid out. Our teachers have been notified what they're going to be teaching, and we're really excited about this. And I understand that there's some people who really like the direction we're going with this, and there's some people who are hesitant. I firmly feel like this is a great opportunity for every student. And let me tell you why I believe this. First off, we're going to be offering more choice than ever. So students, obviously, you have to come, you have to do your requirements, the things you need to do to graduate. But you're going to have opportunities to venture down some paths of classes that you may be interested in that you didn't have the opportunity to take in the past. For some of our students who are credit deficient, this is going to give them a year or two to make up some credits. You'll have more opportunity to take credits over the next couple of years to meet our graduation requirement of 23 credits. This is going to lower class size. When we did the calculations, we are adding a teacher to our staff to help us provide all the choices. And as a result, our class size is typically they're 30 to 33. We are averaging them out to be 27 to 30. So all students are going to benefit from this reduced class size. We have some students who are really just go-getters. They want to try to take every AP course that they can. And so obviously we have some parents who are concerned that their students may take too heavy of a load. As a result of that, we have stride classes, and these classes are not graded. They're just pass, no pass. Students can take these classes to work on some of their AP work. There is a curriculum with these classes. There'll be teachers that kind of help them to plan and prepare for classes and organization and those kind of things. We have had many students sign up for the stride class, and this will help them in their choices, whether they've decided that they kind of want to go all out and pursue lots of AP courses, or in their general studies, if they want a stride course to kind of help them manage their time. This is a great opportunity for them. Our classes next year are going to be 50 minutes in length. So we're giving up very little time. Obviously, we're not going to have as much academic time as we had this year. Well, I can't even compare this year because with the passing time, we're actually probably going to have more with the 7-period day from this year compared to the last. But it is a reduction over previous years from about 3 to 5 minutes. But with the choice that's given, I think that this is just a great opportunity for students. Some of the classes that we're going to be offering include construction trades and personal living. Those were 2 that we brought on this year, and the students are overwhelmingly signing up for these courses. We're offering 5 sections of each of these classes. As a result of 7-period day, we could potentially be looking at adding a constructions 2 class, or maybe wiring, electrical, or drywall. We're looking at all these different trades that we might be able to provide. We have leadership classes. We're looking to take a host of class offerings to our board in November so that we can add these to our course catalog. If students want these courses, we'll be able to provide them. So personal finance is another class. We have a current critical topics class in our social studies. So lots of opportunities to be the instructional institution that we want to be. We want to be very student-centered and giving them opportunities to pursue things that they're interested in. One question that comes up often are the activities, for example. And I just want to say, we have done our best to balance safety and opportunity. Starting with the pandemic last year, we insisted that we have a graduation that was face-to-face. And so we put it over a span of 8 hours so our families would be able to do that, while other districts decided either to cancel or to do a drive-in of some sort. We wanted that face-to-face experience for our students. We're committed to this. Our graduation, we started, we're going to have it here June 13th. We started by offering 4 tickets. We wanted to be within the GCHD requirements. They opened up, so now we're able to give our families 8 tickets. We always want to push to be supportive of our families and our students. We've had some ask, like homecoming and those activities that are coming up. We are going to balance safety and opportunity, but we're going to lead toward our students getting the most normal opportunity that they can in their high school. We are students first. We believe it, we live it, and every decision that we make, whether people agree with it or not, in our mind, we always feel that we want to do what's going to be in the best interest of our students. And so with our big graduation ceremony coming up, we're geeked up about it. It's going to be a wonderful opportunity. And I can assure you in the fall, we will balance safety and opportunity, but we're going to give opportunities for our students to have a normal as possible experience in the high school. I wish you all the best. I know we had several sign up that may not be here live. You're probably enjoying the weather right now, but I know you're going to tune in later to this podcast, if you will. But if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out, call. I'd love the opportunity to share with you some of the cool stuff that's taking place at Swartz Creek High School.
Yeah, and I just want to throw a couple of reminders out there. If you're having any questions about summer school, please contact Nate Gatlin. That would be ngatlin at swcrk.org. He is the summer school coordinator for Swartz Creek this year, and he will either answer your question or put you in touch with the person at each one of those levels who can give you a more specific answer. I'm glad to hear the excitement. Thank you, Mrs. Corbett and Mr. Kitchen and Mr. Witham for allowing us to be streamed out into the universe. We are excited to get back to normal, and we are hoping that as we move forward this summer, that those restrictions drop and we continue to create some of those normal activities. What I heard Mr. Kitchen saying is opportunities, sizes, and choice. What I heard Mrs. Corbett saying is we're going to move to normal, and if the health department has new direction, obviously we're going to follow those. She also talked about all the emotional supports that we're going to be putting into place. It is our school improvement goal next year for the district is to provide that trauma-informed care, and we know that if any year there was trauma with our students, this was definitely that year. And I just also want to say that besides the summer school opportunities where we're going to serve nearly 500 kids, we have MTSS in Swartz Creek, which stands for Multi-Tiered Systems of Support. It's basically how we help kids who aren't learning what they need to learn. And over the last 10, 15 years, we've had 30, 40 districts come watch how we do this because we do it well. And so don't ever hesitate to reach out to your building principal to talk about the supports that your student is getting or may need to get. And we've talked at every level about Tier 1, and Tier 1 is basically what's happening in the classroom for everyone. And we know that we need to shore up those supports for everyone first, and just like it is every year, but with such great intent, purpose this year, we're really going to concentrate on that. I do see that we have one joiner. We have a couple in and out, but right now, Mr. Michael Miller's with us. Michael, do you have a question? And Zach, can you unmute him?
Not at the moment.
All right. Well, we just wrapped everything up. So if you don't have a question, we're going to end up cutting the whole thing off.
All right. I got my times mixed up, so I'm sorry about that.
That's all right. That's all right. Mr. Kitchen, Ms. Corbett, any last words or any questions on those sheets that you think we may have missed?
I was just reviewing the questions that were submitted ahead of time, and I don't think we missed any of them. I just want to reiterate what Mr. Kitchen said. My door is wide open. My email, I check all the time. Check my messages, reach out anytime this week, next week, all through the summer with any questions or concerns. Middle school, I wanted to add, is also going through some construction this summer. And so our office staff won't be able to physically be in the building. We're actually relocating to Gaines Elementary, but we have an awesome technology support department like Zach, who's here with us tonight, who's helping us to make sure our phone lines are transferred and all of the technology needs that we will have. So we will still be able to connect with people. So more to come in the middle school newsletter next week, the last week of school. Please make sure, families, that you are reading that. That is the way that you're going to get all of the info. I know the other buildings will also be sharing out their final newsletters, and all of the building principals, I'm sure, would be happy to answer any questions that anyone has to make sure we have a good, safe summer and a good start to the next school year.
Thank you, Mrs. Corbett. I keep refreshing my email and my messengers, and I got one in about online schooling. Yes, it will be offered next year. Just to let people know, it's a very small percent. I think we're under 30, maybe under 40 district-wide that want that option. And I was at the Genesee County curriculum meeting last week, and every single district is dealing with the same issue. Even districts as big as Davison and Grand Blanc have less than 40 kids who have signed up. So we are going to offer that out there. But as people continue to come back to normal, it's going to be hard to put a full-bodied teacher in front of 30 kids if those 30 kids represent kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, because that's just not an easy task. So we will probably have some adjustments. We do have Apex, especially at 6 through 12. If you want to do Apex learning, or if you want to do it through the VLC, it's the same thing. The beautiful thing about doing it at the VLC is you'll have life coaches, tutors, social work support, and counselors. Whereas if you just do it on your own, you're going to really have a lot less support. The ISD has also thrown out an option about consolidating people, but they've only given the grand plan. They have yet to actually put it into works. So we're looking at some of those things. We still have it out there as an offering, but once again, we are at very, very low numbers. So we will continue to monitor that and definitely push our 6 through 12 kids to Apex if they want that opportunity to work from home. All right, I'm going to refresh one more time on my email and my messenger. That's all I have. I'd like to thank everyone who spent the last half hour with us. Appreciate you taking the time to listen to everything that we had to say. And if you are looking for the Title I parent involvement streaming, I know that that's going on at 6, so you can jump over right from this one and head into the 6 o'clock parent involvement. Oh, one other follow-up on the high school diploma. So right now, if you're at the high school, you have to earn 23 credits and you get a Swartz Creek High School diploma. If you're at the VLC, you have to earn, is it 19, Mr. Kitchen? 20? You have to earn 20 and you get a Swartz Creek VLC certification of completion. Because of COVID, we have allowed online COVID learners to either stay grouped in the Power School, which is our student support structure, in their own building and still take the online classes. We've also allowed people to go to the VLC to get their classes and use the supports that are there, because they have way more supports, but it's the same content. And then we've allowed them to switch back into their home school to graduate. So because of the pandemic, if you want to take online classes this year or next year, and you're a middle school or high school kid, and you're worried about what that looks like on transcripts, you can go over to the VLC, get all their supports, and when you're ready to come back, we will just make a simple transfer in Power School. It's not a big deal at all. It's a press of a button, and then you'll be back on track, unless you like it so well you want to stay there. So you have two options, really. You can get the Apex Learning and a VLC certificate, or you can get Apex Learning and a Swartz Creek High School certificate. Just remember that there are more credits to be earned through Swartz Creek High School. All right. Well, since I answered that, I'm going to do one more refresh. I feel like when my 20-year-old was 3 and I had to say one more Cheerio 18 times, because he kept eating them. Hey, Michael, anything before we go?
Nope. If I have anything, I'll follow up with an email.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Swartz Creek, have a great night. Thanks for spending the last 30 minutes with us.